Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of In the Box Seat. Once again joined by Ella Cohen.
Hello, good to be back.
Yep.
It was great to have Bella on the show last week. We
Yes.
really enjoyed having her here and having a chat to her. It was great to have, and obviously she rode some winners last week as well.
Yeah, she did. Her tip that she was riding that night at the Sunshine Coast, La Rosetta.
Yes.
She was sweating to ride it. She was hopeful that the races were on. They all went ahead and she was able to get success on that horse for Toby Edmonds, who is going well, that horse. It's won 3 out of its 4 starts since joining the stable. So, good to see Bella. And the girls did have a good day out here on Saturday, winning 5 out of the 7 races on the poly meeting. So we were still able to go ahead last Saturday.
Thank God the weather held off for us on the Saturday and we got the poly meeting in, and it was great to have. Speaking of girls dominating, I've just done some research, and I looked back at Dual Race Day last year, and 6 out of the 10 races on Dual Race Day last year were won by female jockeys. Looking ahead to Dual, we hope the females dominate. That will actually be International Women's Day the weekend before, so hopefully they ride up a storm again.
Yeah, they really are dominating the sport. I think Racing Victoria announced the new apprentices coming through, and out of the 12, I think 10 are females.
Wow.
So they really are dominating the sport. Good to see you doing research for the show too.
Look at me go.
New year, new you, hey?
New year, new me. Speaking of last weekend, obviously it was huge with, obviously we didn't know but when we were recording the show here, we didn't know if it was turf, poly. You would have done the form for both.
Yep.
And then last minute, Saturday, you get the call up.
Yeah.
You got to do a
true
third.
Professional, I did the form for both venues. And then got thrown a curveball to go to Brisbane at 6:30 in the morning. But thankfully, I sort of knew the horses from 2 weeks ago when I was up there. So David wasn't feeling the best. Not sure whether it was self-inflicted or whether it was a medical situation. But he's back. He was back at the races yesterday. And so I was thrown into that.
This is a beautiful segue to what we're going to talk about here on the show today. We obviously had the behind the scenes a few weeks ago with Christy, our clerk of the course.
Yes, good feedback too.
Great.
Get a good idea of what a clerk of the course does, all the roles. It was a bit of an eye-opener for me too.
It was. I really enjoyed watching that one. But now, here we go. We're going to move over to you today, Mitch, and we're going to see all that is involved with race caller. And
not much.
and what you have to do to prepare. Obviously, last weekend would have been a huge one with the 2 races here and then going up to Brisbane and all the preparation that's involved. So we're really excited. We're going to be debuting your behind the scenes with Mitch Manners, our race caller here at the Gold Coast Turf Club.
So here's me. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Viva Racing Raceday. 8 races coming up here at Aquis Park. Justice served, Tennessee Whiskey fighting back. Generally, as a caller, a lot of your preparation work starts the day before. Colours and your form process generally starts on a Friday, so you lock yourself in for a couple of hours to go over the form and do your colours, so you're well prepared come race day on the Saturday. Scratchings are taken at 7:30. Finalised at 7:45, so by that stage you start to trim down your form process to your tips, which you put into a system with all the other race callers, and then they're available for access online. You aim to be at the races sort of an hour and a half before, and then you can just sit back and that's when your process will start. Sort of as soon as the horses come into the yard for race number 1, that's when your day really does start in the calling capacity. Yep, have got you loud and clear. Any chance I could get Sky Racing 1 in my headset, if possible? 8 races coming up here at Aquis Park. First is underway. So once the race starts, you've done a fair bit of preparation the day or so before to do a speed map in what's likely the order horses will be in. You can over-prepare, especially with the big races. You can come up with all these cliches that you want to say or lines that you want to say. The race sort of calls itself in a sense. I've always been taught that we don't make the race makes the calls. You want to go through the field at least fully once, depending on the distance of the race. High pressure millions, you probably only got a chance to go through them once because 2-year-olds are going here, there and everywhere. It's quite a difficult race to call. And then you want to try and get back to the leader by the home turn, because then you've got the whole straight to go through the finish of the race. So say here at the Gold Coast, it's just a tick under 400 metres. So you've got that whole time of the home straight to see, who's potentially going to fight out the finish. Occasionally we'll have sponsors come up to the broadcast box and watch a race with us, birthday notices, etc. So we just run through that with the event staff of, if there's anyone who wants to come up and watch a race, or if there's any special messages throughout the day, they provide me with a sheet with that sort of information as well. I'm living a childhood dream. I wanted to do this job since I was 5, 6. I called my first race at preschool, so I'm very blessed to get to do this as a living. And where else would you rather be on a Saturday than the beautiful Gold Coast, looking out at this picturesque racetrack as you're calling races and watching all the other action around Australia throughout a Saturday afternoon. Punjabi Landings just in front, saw it out. Punjabi Landings beat Justice Served and Tennessee Whiskey.
Such a great insight, Mitch.
Yep.
I actually didn't know. I sit with you week in, week out here on the show, and
Yep.
I didn't know all that goes into being a race caller here at the club. So it was such a great insight. I really loved watching your piece.
Yes.
What's probably the only compliment I'll give you there.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, some days are different than others. I guess it all depends on the size of the fields or the horses. Magic Millions Day, I've often said, is a completely different race day from a calling point of view. There's a number of different horses that you may see 12 months later, may never see again, may see 2-3 years down the track because they obviously restricted to that race meeting and the sale. So, but they come from near and far. So it's a tricky day in regards that you may not see them 2 weeks later. Eagle Farm last Saturday, from a calling point of view, I had seen the horses over the last couple of weeks, so kind of knew them quite quickly. But then, this Saturday here at the Gold Coast, we've got a number of big fields with maidens that haven't been racing here over the last couple of weeks because we just haven't had those races on. So a bit more preparation for Saturday's meeting. We've got big fields all day, actually. It's a big day acceptance-wise. So, a bit more prep work this week. Poly meetings, when there's smaller fields, you sort of can take the foot off the pedal a bit. But no, that's an insight into my job.
We really enjoyed it. We've got another sort of feature in that series to come, but thank you for doing that for us, Mitch. We really appreciate it, and I'm sure the viewers
didn't get much
do
say, so
as
it's all
well.
good.
But looking forward to this weekend. We've got the Viva Racing Raceday, first time sponsor here at the club. We're really excited to have them on board. So it's going to be a great day's racing, as you said, 8 races.
Yeah, good to see them sponsoring the race meeting, but they throw a lot of money into the industry. The big syndicate that race a number of horses with Matthew Dunn and Matthew Hoysted. They've had great success. Derry Grove, to mention, Magic Millions winner from a couple of years ago.
And they've also won a Ken Russell Memorial Classic as well. So great success here at the Gold Coast. So we're glad to have them on board for this weekend.
No, good to see them get success too, because they are throwing a lot of money into the industry. Speaking of Saturday, as we said, 8 races, big size fields. Obviously with the poly last week, there was a few that held off waiting for the turf this week, and what was the entries? I think it was 139, so emergencies drawn pretty much in every race. So
I found a good tip. I thought you'd be saying this after your little feature on the show today. Save the roses, everyone. Race 7 for Ryan Tyrrell, one last start at Bro Desert, so I'm going to go save the roses in race 7.
We must be going good, because this studio audience today is the biggest we've ever had. Double the numbers.
They want to know the tips firsthand.
Living Free looks well placed in race number 4. He was a Saturday Metropolitan winner last start and comes back to this level. He's got to run 1800, but I think he will, with 2 off for Bella Youngbury and the Inside Gate. So Living Free for me in the 4th. Of course, heading up towards the Jewel. Disappointing news just before we finish for Paul Shaler in Connections. No Turak Jewel, unfortunately, just didn't pull up well from a gallop. So she's going to the Spelling paddock, whether we see her in the winter or next preparation. So unfortunate news there. Some other news in regards to the Hollandale, that Half Yours, the Melbourne Cup winner, Tony and Kelvin McAvoy are planning a Queensland Winter Carnival campaign. So likely to see Half Yours here. The Zipping Classic winner, She's a Hustler, is headed towards the Hollander. And Knight's Choice is likely head towards the Hollandale as well. So potentially we'll
you
have
go.
the last 2 Melbourne Cup winners.
You've got the inside
here
scoop for us here on the
in
show,
May.
Mitch.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
The Hollandale's always a race that you hear a lot of names at this stage, and then they've got to get through the Sydney Carnival, but most things are pointing towards a very strong Hollandale this year.
There you go. Well, keep your eye on tickets. Obviously, Jewel is online now, gctc.com.au. Hollandale won't be far behind. So keep your eyes there and get trackside.
And we'll catch you next week.